Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Courtney. Welcome back to my channel. Good morning. So I'm trying to be a little bit quiet because it's a little bit early today, but I know it's been a while since have been recording. It's just been a lot with me working or whatever, and honestly, your girl been tired. As you can see, I did dye my hair a little bit, different color, a little honey blonde, and I also got a new little nose piercing. Yep, I've been wanting that for a while. And next week I plan on getting my tongue pierced, and then the week after I plan on getting my belly pierced. So yes, a lot of piercings coming up within, those next few weeks coming up. I know it's been a little while since I've been keeping up with y'all, whatever, and that's not liking me. So of course, we got another little story time coming our way. I do have another little try-on haul. I've been having a lot of outfit, like get ready with me or whatever, little fit checks or whatever. I keep forgetting to post them on YouTube or whatever, but I'm gonna start doing that from now on. I just have been like honestly forgetting. But without further ado, let's get into the story time. But before we get into the story time, please make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel, because that's always important. That's going to help push my content out there to get to where I need to be, because of course I do have goals. Of course, my job, my main goal is to entertain you guys, but of course I want to get my content out there, push it out there, make sure that everybody can see it. So yeah, so let's get into the story time. So this is a different kind of story time. I know that last time I said that we were going to talk about the whole Jordan thing of me and Jordan being together and everything. But this is kind of going a little way back to when I was a little bit younger. I would say I was probably a little bit out of high school around this time. And I think this is when I broke up with when I was kind of a little, it was a while after I was done with my high school boyfriend. We gonna call him, it don't even matter, whatever. I'll get into it because I got a couple of stories about him. But I pretty much had broke up with it was a while after I broke up with my high school boyfriend. He was pretty much cheating, dating a whole other girl in a different school for a whole year at the same time he was dating me. So it was a lot of drama, a lot of stuff with that. My aunt had to get involved. It was a lot. It was a lot of drama. So so pretty much just, if I haven't had any story times about this particular guy, but around the time that I was divorced to my first husband, California, of course, which I have plenty of stories with him, I was seeing this guy who I'm of course familiar with, because we have known each other since like 4th or 5th grade or whatever. We kind of went to the same high school, but we never really seen each other like that. So it was pretty much like an on and off kind of thing over the years between me and him. And I'm gonna name him Crazy because he is certified crazy. And he is also the guy that I had talked about maybe a few other previous story times, where I said that it had became a domestic violence situation. We started dating, and we ended up getting into an argument, into a fight, and he had battered my face, pulled my wig off. I'm pretty much trying to run, trying to get help, and I ended up getting held at gunpoint. So it was a really, really, really serious situation. But this is before all that. This is years and years before all of that took place or whatever. So we're gonna name him Crazy, of course, because he crazy. That's just the easiest way to put it. So like I said, I had known him since like 4th, 5th grade. Didn't really know him like that around that time. He just used to pick on me and, just joke with me or whatever. When guys have crushes on girls, whatever, they pick on them and do all that kind of stuff in middle school, elementary school, and stuff like that. And, we had kind of seen each other around or whatever, kind of kept it with each other on social media like Facebook and stuff like that over the years. But somehow we had got back in contact around the time that I had, stopped dealing with my boyfriend from high school, whatever. I had already been graduated and stuff like that. I had kind of already moved on from that whole high school drama and stuff like that. And I think like me and Crazy kind of got into contact, and we started just talking and texting and stuff over Facebook and stuff like that. Because back then, Facebook was like, for me, well, now Instagram is the thing for me, but back then Facebook was the thing. So I was always about Facebook or whatever, and that's how I kept up in contact with everybody. And Crazy was one of those people that I kept up, in contact with. So we had just kind of started reconnecting and everything. And I think he had sent me a friend request or whatever, and we just started messaging each other, and it kind of just started out on some friendly type stuff, and then from there it kind of gradually just kind of led to something more, because I kind of always had a crush on him or whatever, kind of growing up, but he would always make fun of me, and I never really thought that he really felt that kind of way about me. But then he had kind of made it clear, like, yeah. So once we started talking, I had pretty much just started confiding in him about, the relationship drama that I had with him, throughout high school. And before that, previously, he had told me about his relationship problems, stuff like that. And we just started kind of, getting to know each other all over again, reconnecting, getting to know each other, and started trying to develop something more, whatever. And so, we're talking, we're texting, we're calling each other like on Messenger. Like I don't really use Messenger like that anymore, but if you were big on Facebook around that time and you're using like Messenger audio, Messenger like FaceTime, Face Call, whatever, that's what we would do. We would be talking all the time. Even on Instagram occasionally or whatever. We would be talking a lot. But I kind of noticed that it started to become a little bit issue in between that time. And mind you, when we had started kind of reconnecting around the time, I was just kind of leaving my dad's house. Me and my dad were having issues. Me and my dad don't have the closest relationship, but I had just decided at that point, okay, it's time for me to leave my dad's house. Me and him are not getting along. He had his own little motives for why he had even taken me in. And not only was I kind of in that rebellious stage, I was just kind of just looking forward to just starting over and just starting on my, a new path, like a new journey. I just, I'm getting older, whatever. And obviously me and my dad are not seeing eye to eye. He's not being there for me like I need him to be. And, I got my own stuff going on too. As, young adults, sometimes we get into trouble and some things we need to learn on our own. And how can I learn from my mistakes or learn from somebody who is still going through, behaving like someone who is my age, like a teenager? You're behaving like a teenager. You still doing the same little childish stuff, and you're supposed to be the parent. You're supposed to be the adult. I'm supposed to learn from you, and I can't. It was just too much. It was just really it was just too much of a toxic environment, somewhat or whatever. And not to like downplay my dad or whatever, talk down on him, but it's what it was. It just he just wasn't being like the person that, anybody knows me, I'm a real huge daddy's girl, but he just wasn't being the parent that I needed him to be. And it just took me a minute to come to terms with that and realize that, even just getting older to the age I am now, like, but anyway, I was kind of getting on the path to like moving in with my aunts and whatever, my mom's sisters and stuff like that. And I was kind of starting to move in with them or whatever. So it was kind of around this time. So, me and Crazy are talking, we're texting and everything. Of course, I'm working, I'm doing my thing, because I ain't never been no bum. I ain't never been nobody that ain't had no job. I wasn't doing that with themselves. I was always having money, always doing stuff for myself, whatever. Always doing stuff for people around me. But however, I will say I was always distracted by boys, by men. And Crazy was one of them. He was the main one. He just had all this control over me. And I just, oh my goodness, I don't know how, out of all the dudes, he had the most control of me. And even to this day, I don't know how. I don't know how, and I don't know why. Especially when I got to know him, the real him. Yeah. So anyway, let's just fast forward until around the time we're talking. I started to, text him and call him or whatever. He wouldn't be answering, or, answering his messages or answering his phone or whatever. And at first I'm thinking like, okay, like, he has a life. Of course, he did let me know he does have a child, so I can't just bombard him with all my problems and everything that's going on, because he has his own life. He has his own little family. He got, a child or whatever. He has his own responsibilities and stuff to take care of. But as time went on, the more I would start talking to him and everything, I would be getting messages back and calls back. And it started off with just messages. I think the first time I got a message was, I can't even remember around this time. It had to have been around 20, no, it was, no. It had to have been like around 2015, kind of going into 2016. And I got a message. Lo and behold, it was his baby mother or whatever. Now, mind you, his baby mother is a white girl or whatever. She's what you would call, I guess, a snow bunny. I don't really refer to other women or white women as snow bunnies. I just think that's a really derogatory term, but some white women refer to themselves as snow bunnies or whatever. So that's what it was. A snow bunny, if you don't know, it's a white Caucasian girl. It could be a Hispanic girl, maybe a biracial girl who likes to mingle with African American men or African American women. They like to affiliate themselves with African American people, whatever. Pretty much, yeah, they like to mingle with African Americans. So his baby mother is a Caucasian woman. And I would just start getting messages from her like, why are you texting him or whatever? Stop texting my baby daddy and stuff like that. And I was just like, I would bring it to Crazy's attention, like, she's messaging me or whatever. What's up with that or whatever. And he was just like, don't pay her no mind. I be getting drunk and she be going through my phone or whatever, just messaging you, doing stuff, trying to start drama or whatever. And it should have clicked in my head back then. He was probably entertaining more girls other than myself. I don't know why I wasn't thinking. Because come to find out later on, him and his baby mother were literally cheating on each other. They were literally entertaining other people. And it was, oh my goodness, it's just so much later on I'm gonna get to, but yes. But pretty much she would be going through his phone, texting all the girls that he would be talking to were entertaining, and I just happened to be one of those girls, of course, because Crazy used to always, for some reason, I used to always be that girl that used to be on the back burner, like the back end that he will always reach out to later on, even if it's a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, he will find a way to contact me or get back in contact with me. It was almost like he was watching me or keeping up the scene, like, is she with somebody? Is she doing this? All right, let me hit her up and see, like, how some of those dudes be. And I just feel like that's how Crazy was or whatever. And crazy enough, my stupid tail would just be waiting on the back burner. I would just be waiting for him. Like, it would be years. Like, I would entertain, of course, talk to other dudes, but I would just literally be waiting for Crazy to hit me up. And it was so crazy. It was crazy. So, you know, I spoke to Crazy about the whole situation. He was just like, yeah, don't pay her no mind. She just is childish. She going through my phone. She just trying to do the most or whatever. She just mad or whatever, just being immature. But my thing is, I was like, how is she just, I don't know. Part of me wasn't really thinking in that moment, like, how is she going through your phone and hitting up other girls and stuff like that and doing all this stuff? And it's like, Courtney, you know, I wasn't thinking about that. But in the back of my, you know, the smarter me now is like, Courtney, really? If they're still dealing with each other, how else would she know the passcode to his phone? How else would she know how to get in his phone and be texting other girls or whatever? It's simple. Like, come on. Like, I wasn't thinking like that. I'm really ditzy when you really think about it. Not as much today, but back then I was like really, really ditzy and boy crazy. So excuse the old Courtney. This is the new Courtney, weighing on that. But anyway, so yeah, it just got to a point where I was still living with my aunts and stuff around this time. I was still in Baltimore. And it was just this on and off stuff for years. Like I said, I'd be talking to other dudes, I'd be entertaining other dudes, but Crazy would always be like, he would always keep me on the back burner, always catch, you know, every time something weird would happen with his baby mother, he would disappear for a while and they would come back, and then I'll be stupid enough to keep taking him back and dealing with this mess. And I was like, oh, you know, I don't know why. I don't. I promise y'all, I'm not as ditzy as I used to be. I'm not as ditzy as I used to be. Okay? Okay. So, fast forward a little later on, we still like talking on and off. And like I said, I got my stuff going on, but nothing like major. Little did I know, Crazy had a whole bunch of stuff going on. And you know, me and Crazy, you know, we talk and stuff like that. We, you know, talked here and there. We like to spice it up a little bit. And this is back in my younger days. I do not recommend this for any woman or any man, either men or women. Do not send no nudes to anybody. It can get to the wrong hands. People are weird. People are crazy, and stuff happens. I stopped doing that a long time ago. No, 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 no more nudes. Okay. Even when I was with Jordan, like no nudes, no, none of that stuff. No, you gotta just stop. If you want to see this, you gotta see it in person. Okay. So, now, So. But back around this time, you know, I'm younger. Of course, I'm just fresh out of high school. Me and Crazy are talking, doing all this and that. And, you know, we send each other news and stuff from time to time. I was young. I'm not excusing it at all. This is what we did when we was young. We exchanged nudes. Sorry. Don't judge me. Sorry, Mama. If you see this, please. Sorry. And of course, like he said, he had broke it down before when his baby mother went to his phone the first time. She had a thing of going through his phone, seeing the girls he was talking to, because like I said, when I got down to it later on, even he admitted it. They were cheating on each other. And actually, I'm going to get to that because somebody actually broke it down before he even told me, an old friend of theirs, that they was cheating on each other. But long story short, they would cheat on each other and stuff like that. And she had went through the phone. I had sent him some news or whatever. He was just like, you know, send me something or whatever. So I was like, you know, okay, whatever. This is back when I used to, you know, smoke that tree. And I also was abusing alcohol really, really bad. I had a really, really bad problem with alcohol. I had went through a very traumatic experience in my life, and I also will be making a story time about that. And it was just a lot of depression, and it also triggered all the anxiety that I had today, because of that. So, you know, I was kind of like on and off drinking, smoking a lot. So it was just a lot of abusing, you know, marijuana and alcohol. So it was just a lot over the years that I it was just a lot that I was dealing with. It's top on you know, on top of chasing boys and mostly chasing crazy, because it was just like, oh my goodness. Out of all the men that I've chased in my life, I would say I've chased crazy the most. And when I look back on it, it's like, why? But I did. I chased crazy the most. But anyway, you know, we're talking to each other, we're sending each other pictures, we're video chatting each other, and you know, I would say I'm just chilling. Maybe crazy fell asleep or something, because you know how guys are, they fall asleep and then all of a sudden everything just all this craziness just breaks loose or whatever. So all of a sudden, like, it had to be in like around midnight or whatever, or midnight, or like 1 in the morning, I get a message from crazy. It's from his number. But it's his baby mother texting me. And we're gonna call her, I hate to say it, but we're gonna call her Whoa Vicky, because she didn't talk like Whoa Vicky. She actually had a black accent, so most people could. She wasn't even from Baltimore or whatever. But you know how some of those girls like to talk black or whatever. They ain't nowhere near from Baltimore. They not from the city, nowhere near from the city. But for some reason, they just developed this black accent or whatever. So yeah, I'm not gonna say she acts like Whoa Vicky, but I'm gonna say her looks. She looks like Whoa Vicky. And Whoa Vicky is not an ugly girl or whatever. Let me just say that. She's a very pretty Caucasian girl. I'm just saying, as far as looks, like as far as her, like how her stature and everything, she just reminds me of Whoa Vicky. She just, when I look at her, I see Whoa Vicky. So yeah. So of course I've seen pictures and stuff of her before, because I had to look at his page and everything. And you know, she had sent me a message, and she was just saying something like, you know, why are you messaging my baby daddy or whatever? And I was like, well, you know, the question is, why is your baby daddy messaging me or whatever? And why are you like, why are you messaging me right now? Why are you on this type of time right now? Like, what's going on? So she was like, you know, we're together or whatever, and you know, you trying to, pretty much, she was just pretty much trying to call me a homewrecker. And I was just like, how you could, you don't, first of all, you don't even know me. You don't even know, you like, come on. You probably know my name because you probably went through his messages and stuff like that, but you don't know me. I said, I'm a homewrecker. I said, maybe you need to check your baby daddy, because he's hitting me up. I'm not hitting him up trying to get in contact with him all the time. He's hitting me up. It's the other way around, bookie. So yeah. So next thing you know, she starts talking about the messages that me and him are sending each other. She's saying the pictures or whatever that I sent him, the explicit pictures. And she was just like, look at these little dirty pictures or whatever you send him or whatever. And I was like, they're dirty? I said, I'm pretty sure they look way better than yours, Bookie. So I said, ain't nothing dirty about me. So she was just like, that's when she just started threatening me, like, oh, yeah, don't make me have to send these pictures around. I'll leak these pictures on Facebook or on something or whatever, like play with me or something. And I ain't gonna lie, she kind of ate me up with that. Because I don't want my pictures being, you know, leaked or whatever, even though it's no proof it's mine or whatever. But she can literally, you know, say like, oh, this is so-and-so's or whatever. Like, I don't, you know, I don't got time for that or whatever. I said, and, you know, at the end of the day, I like crazy, but he ain't worth getting no pictures leaked over. Like, come on. And I, you know, we're young and stuff like that. I'm still young. And I'm kind of actually older, a little older than this girl and older than crazy. So it was just like, I was like, all this drama over this or whatever. I was like, I'm good. So I didn't even reply back to her, because I was like, I hope she don't try to leak my pictures, because I was like low-key scared and worried about her leaking it. You can have all that beef with him, but don't leak my pictures. And then like a couple days later, I had heard back from Crazy, and he was like, hey, whatever. And I was like, I know you not just gonna sit up here and try to pretend like you don't know that your baby mama didn't say anything to me, or your baby mama didn't confront you about what happened. I said, yeah, baby. I'm gonna let you know. I'm not gonna play games with you. I'm not gonna play dumb with you. That's one thing about me. I'm not gonna play dumb with you. You can play dumb with somebody else. You can play dumb with your mama. You can play dumb with your baby daddy. You can play dumb with your boyfriend, your sister, your cousin, whatever. But I'm not gonna do it with you. I said, yeah, your baby mama is talking about she threatening to leak my pictures or whatever. And he was like, what? Like, no. He was like, she not gonna do that or whatever. Like, I said, I don't know that crazy. Like, she literally was texting me, threatening me the other day, arguing back and forth with me, talking about she gonna leak my pictures and stuff like that, and telling me to leave you alone and stuff like that. And he was just like, just ignore her or whatever. He was just like, I deleted the pictures, so she's not gonna do that or whatever. I already talked to her about that. She's not on that or whatever. She's not gonna do that. And I was like, okay, she better not be, because this is too much. Like, this is, you know, I think that was like, I think that might have been the first time, honestly, that that I had kind of really encountered with her. But yeah, I was just like, and it's just like, this wasn't the only encounter that I had with Whoa Vicky. Like, it's like crazy. You need to get your little situation in check or whatever. I don't have time for this. Like, what? You can't even keep your pictures in a secret folder or something. Like, come on, like most people, like, you just doing too much now. And it just became every situation, every encounter that I had with Vicky, it was just like crazy. It was just like, oh, I'm sorry about that. Like, she doing too much. She just need to stop and all this like that. And part of me was just like, it should have been a red flag to just leave him alone. Because even years later, it was just like, he wasn't dealing with her anymore, but it was just, he was still dealing with other females. It was other females on the side. It wasn't just his baby mother that I had to worry about. You know, it wasn't just me that she had to worry about. It was other females and stuff. So I can't put that all on her. I had to put that mostly on crazy, because it's just like, you're a man. You're supposed to have a child. You're supposed to be doing better with yourself, and you doing way too much. You put me in your drama. I've already gotten out of drama, and that's what I can't stand with dudes, is that I'm getting out of my own little situation and you trying to put me in more situations and more drama, and that's too much, and I don't have time for that. So back then I was just way too nice, way too accepting, way too caring, way too forgiving. And today I don't got that in me no more. I don't want to be around nobody like that. I don't want to be around you. Like, I'm good. I don't have that type of forgiveness. No more exes, no more ex-friends, no more fake friends, no more fake people. I don't want to be around you. Like, just leave me alone. Just stay where you at. That's all. But that was pretty much just a little short story or whatever for now. Next time it's gonna be a lot worse, I promise you. I probably would just focus on like the story between me and Jordan next time. We'll see. I'll think about it. But yeah, that's pretty much all for this story time or whatever. Thank you guys for watching and tuning in. Make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel. My social links are linked down below. I'm going to actually change my social links, because I actually changed it due to personal reasons. I changed my Facebook and stuff, and my Instagram or whatever. Snapchat is still the same, but my Facebook and Instagram have changed, so I'm going to change that. And my links down below. But make sure that you keep liking, subscribing, and tuning in for more updates. I probably will be uploading another video or a little try-on haul or whatever this week, just to make up for the past 2 weeks that I haven't been uploading. But other than that, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.